Hello, and welcome to my species spotlight on the Gold Mountain Minnow. The Gold Mountain Minnow likes temperature ranges between 68 to 78, which is a really huge range, but they like it on the colder end of that. Around 70, I think, is their peak performance. That's around where they breed for me. At around 6.9 pH is also where I keep them. It's where my aged water naturally sits, and they really seem to like it. I've got some in a 20 tall, and I've got some in a 10. The 10 are my breeding group, and I've got this fancy egg scatterer catcher thingy I made from watching a different YouTube video about breeding CPDs. This egg scatterer thing is pretty simple. It's egg catcher from Amazon with one of the breeder boxes you can also get from Amazon, and then I attached them with some extra bit of hosing I had laying about, and I threw a bunch of moss in there, and the Gold Mountain Minnows just lay their eggs like crazy in there. It's great. I also put a lot of moss in with the babies. I had this set up for a really long time in the 20-gallon tall, and it wasn't working for a couple of reasons, I think. First, it was too tall. I had the breeder box maybe halfway in between the water line and the ground, the substrate, which was too much, too far. Second, there was no cover for the babies inside the tank, inside the breeder box. They would spawn. I think I was seeing them really, really small. I just don't think they'd ever get bigger than that. I think they'd just die off because there was just nowhere for them to hide. There were predators, I think, like micro predators for them. So it was becoming an issue. And third, there was no food. The moss produces an infusoria that you just can't make on your own because they're just so small. That is what you're making when you're making infusoria, but you can't beat having an infusoria culture in with the babies because then they can just eat whenever they want and they can get as big as they need to be, until you need to start feeding them. And then, because there was no cover, I think the fish eggs are susceptible to light, and I have really bright lights on all my tanks because that's one of the more important parts to me in maintaining a healthy aquaria is proper lighting. But I add in moss, that solves like all the problems instantly. 1 or 2 weeks later, babies, little microscopic dots with tails. Okay, I did a quick Google search to give you more information about this species, but since it's just a morph of the White Cloud Minnow, it's hard to give you really detailed information. I believe the Gold White Cloud Minnow was developed in the aquarium hobby in the 1980s. Beyond that, the fish is related to the carp, and it's nearly extinct, if not entirely extinct in the wild. Okay, here's the part about these small egg scatterers that nobody tells you about. First off, the babies and the eggs are so small you won't see them. They're practically microscopic, at least for the first week or so. After 1 week of this setup, you'll see tiny little dots with tails floating about, and after about a month, they'll be big enough to eat baby brine. But until then, you'll have to feed powdered foods and infusoria. Like I said before, the moss, I think, helps culture an infusoria in the tank for you. So that helps, but I don't rely on it. I feed in addition to, because you never know. Do the parents eat the babies, the eggs? Yeah, I think so. I think they totally do. I think if it fits in their mouth, they'll totally munch down on that. Can they see them all the time? No. I definitely have fry in the parent tank that is getting pretty big. So keep that in mind. And finally, these are an easy and generally inexpensive fish. They make a really beautiful school in your aquarium. They have some really nice different colors. Some of them can get really red, especially during mating season. Some of them have some really, really nice white when they flare up and when they're competing for females. So if you have some questions, ask them down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.
Put it down for you. Hit you with the swordfish tactic. Hit you hit you with the movie and tactic.
Fish tactics.